Hey, welcome into Foxborough Rush. What a rush. If you love this show, make sure you check out Hold My Banner, available on Nessun as well. We break down all the latest with the Celtics as the playoffs are approaching. The quest for Banner 19 on Hold My Banner. Check us out. We're available on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, Amazon, and wherever else podcasts are found.
What's up? What's happening? Welcome into Foxborough Rush. He's Travis Thomas. I'm George Balekji. Missed you guys. Missed you, T.
Miss you more, my brother. How you doing?
Doing good. What a weekend it was for the Patriots. Of course, the signing of Stephon Diggs, hold his press conference. Once again, second big free agency press conference in a row held on a Friday where the Patriots want to
what's up?
Put under the rug, hey, we're releasing this captain. It's fine. It's business. It's
not
football.
Fine.
Give David Andrews his day.
Right.
Give Ja'Whaun Bentley his day.
Right.
You don't. It's weird. They make it weird.
I don't love the Friday news dump from any team. From any team.
Do the Friday news dump. Let it be you're releasing a captain. Then do Stephon Diggs on a Monday.
Right.
I just don't get the two in between. They're making it seem like, we don't want to put this. It's okay. It's business. If you guys didn't know, since Trav and I were away, not in on the Monday episode, we're going to talk a little of our reaction to Ja'Whaun Bentley, him being released by the Pats after 7 terrific years with that team. We also go in on Mike Vrabel, his comments coming out of the coaches' breakfast down in Palm Beach, Florida. What he had to say, talking some Josh McDaniels offense, what the role is of a passing game coordinator. And also, he had some interesting comments about Ja'Lynn Polk and Javon Baker. Some that shows that the coach, like he said, you treat the team with respect, I'll treat you with the respect. He's giving them the opportunity.
That's right.
And then we'll be doing a first-round mock. Just a first round, 32 picks. This is a fun one. I haven't done a mock draft with Trav yet. Travis, here's the thing, man. Here's our one rule. Ashton Ginty cannot go one overall.
Okay, fine. I will say this,
It'd be nice behind that offensive line, though.
I think as your official partner in crime that I am, my friend.
You are, bro.
You're going to love doing a mock draft with me because I will totally acquiesce to GM George every time.
All right. I'm still just thinking of it. I'm schwitzing. I'm schwitzing.
What was that, George? A guard from Toledo? Sure, take him. Sure, man. No problem.
We'll see. I'll be like, you know who makes sense here? I don't care. Give me O'Marion Hampton.
I love that kid.
Let's get started on the Ja'Whaun Bentley news.
All right.
Friday afternoon, Patriots release him. 7 years with the team, multi-time captain, Super Bowl champion.
Super Bowl.
They won it his rookie season.
That's
he was
right.
drafted in 2018.
That's right.
Of course, 18-19, the Pats. Last time they won a playoff game. Last time they won a Super Bowl as well. He played 16 games, all but 2 seasons, 16 or more. Played just 13 in 2020. It's also the 2020 season, so I don't feel like going in the weeds on why he didn't play or not, but it was 2020. A lot of people are missing games for a lot of reasons. And, of course, dealt with that injury last season, limited him to just 2 games. This move didn't shock me, Trav.
Yeah, me either.
I want to start with that. He's a captain. He's a good linebacker. He didn't fit this system anymore. A linebacker like a Ja'Whaun Bentley that's around 250 pounds, his role is to go up to the line of scrimmage, blow up the blockers, blow up the run play, someone else makes a play. The Robert Spillanes, the Jack Gibbons that are now on this roster, the top 2 linebackers, the 4 guys up front, hold the blockers in a way, have your responsibilities in the run defense. Spillane, Gibbons, and clean up whatever leaks through.
That's right.
Ja'Whaun Bentley, throughout his career, very good linebacker, one of the top middle linebackers in the NFL. But now with the new system and how the modern day NFL is, there aren't thumpers like Ja'Whaun Bentley's anymore. You want more lateral, sideline to sideline speed, better in pass coverage, 3 down linebackers like a Robert Spillane, a Matt Milano with Buffalo, a Fred Warner with the San Francisco 49ers. I'm not putting Spillane up there with the Fred Warner, but that type of player, elite athlete that you were like, he looks like a safety. That's not the linebacker. That's not Ja'Whaun Bentley anymore.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, listen, schematically, he didn't fit the new system. I agree with you there, but I also think this is just the nature of the business in the NFL. He's been here for a while. He is coming off a major injury, and I think that played a part of it. I think that he is a leader on this defense, but this is now, system aside, George, this is now culture-wise, locker room-wise, new voice-wise, time for new leaders to emerge. And so I get it. I think this made sense across the board. I was not shocked at all. I was just more, disappointed for him. I really liked him. He's a Maryland guy. He's a Maryland kid just like me. Played at DeMatha. He's got a good name down there, good reputation. So you never want to see anyone get released. I feel like even though the league has changed, to your point, when it comes to the thumpers at the linebacker position, there'll be somewhere he can get in where he fits in and go there and do just that. It could be in a backup role. He could be a special teamer. In other words, I think there's a way his career can continue to move forward, George, but it's clearly not going to be here, and I'm okay with it as we look for new leaders to emerge.
I think he's also someone that can lend some scheme versatility, but as his athleticism has receded, he was a guy you'd see play certain amount of snaps on the defensive line, line up outside or over the offensive tackle, and be a pass rusher on the edge. But again, about to be 29, lost to step, is bigger, isn't as athletic as he once was. And you also have to take into consideration the second Robert Spillane was signed. At that money, too, that's a guy that's your starting off-ball linebacker.
That's
and again, fits a Terrell Williams scheme, a 4-2 nickel-base heavy defense.
You invested in him.
When they signed to Jack Gibbons, this actually surprised me that they brought back Christian Ellis and matched his offer sheet. But the Jack Gibbons with the special teams contributors screamed to me, oh, this is the backup linebacker, or more this is a Christian Ellis type role.
Right.
But again, watch a film on Juwan Bentley, watch a film on Jack Gibbons. This past season, Jack Gibbons is just more athletic, a little slimmer, still brings the boom when it comes to run defensing and blow up blockers and bring hits. So he's that thumper like a Juwan Bentley, but he's just lighter, more fluid, and just a better athlete all around. So they got younger in the linebacker room. Robert Spillane's up there in age. He's about to be 29, just like Juwan Bentley. They bring in a Jack Gibbons. When they signed him, I said that is the Juwan Bentley replacement in a way.
Obviously, yeah. I mean, we wish him happy trails. We wish him happy trails, George. But in the end, it was time. I think it was time.
With him and David Andrews.
Yes.
And that's a part two. We'll get into Mike Vrabel and some of his comments from the coaches' breakfast in just about a minute or two.
Cool.
But the same thing he said when it came to, they're like, but that's a captain. He goes, okay, captaincy isn't a 4-year, 8-year term. It's year to year.
That's right.
Look, those guys are great. They were good for the culture. There's leaders. He's not denying how good they are football players. But he's like, this is my year one of a head coach. This is my system that I'm running. And this is a guy that, again, we'll talk Ja'Lynn Polk and Javon Baker. I have it down in my notes. That's why I keep looking down. Mike Vrabel talks about watching the film. So he's watching the film on these guys. This is an uneducated, get them out, they're not my player, cut them type.
Right.
They're informed on everything. They're thorough with everything. And that's what these moves were.
Yeah.
For Juwan Bentley. Interested where he lands. I would see like a Washington Commanders, just like they have Bobby Wagner there, but he's still under contract there. Yeah. Again, I try to look at the lesser, the poor, the not as good run defenses around the league and even the poor tackling teams. But the modern day NFL, they lend away from the Juwan Bentleys, and it's more towards the Matt Milanos.
I think it'll be a coach, though. I think, look no further than either Harbaugh brother. It's going to be some hard note, maybe a Pete Carroll out
That's
in
a good
Vegas.
call with Baltimore.
It'll just be those type of coaches that still value these kind of guys. Not as your main dude. That's why I think he'll be in a depth situation.
First, second down type linebacker.
Come in, blow up the run game, and get the hell out of Dodge, okay? Because you're not going to cover anyone. So it'll be a situational. By the way, he could have maybe done that here. I think the injury plays into that too. I think coming off an injury, I believe he tore his pec. That's a major injury. So I think, again, happy trails to the kid. I think he'll get an opportunity somewhere, George.
Yeah.
But right now, the Patriots have to move forward without him.
Yep. Hey, if you want to stream the entire Sox season with the Nesson 360 annual plan, it's available at an all-new, reduced price of just $20 a month paid annually. And for a limited time, get 4 free tickets to Fenway with your purchase. Visit Nesson360.com to sign up today. All right, Trav. So Mike Vrabel held court, coach's breakfast, Palm Beach, Florida.
Woo.
Nice location.
So nice.
Shout out to a league that understands it. If we're going to make all you guys fly somewhere, it's the offseason in the middle of the draft, put it in Palm Beach, Florida.
Facts.
It's nice out them parts.
Facts.
My wallet can't hold there, but these guys, they're making good bucks. Speaking of guys that's made plenty of money in his coaching career, Josh McDaniels, obviously back as the offensive coordinator for the Patriots. Here's what Mike Vrabel had to say when asked about Josh McDaniels and overall what the approach is going to be like with him running the offense once again.
But it'll always be multiple, just like it was. I mean, there's going to be, opportunities for 2 backs in the backfield, for multiple tight ends on the field. Having with 3 wide receivers and talk about the run game. I think being able to have some multiplicity and not just get married to one particular style, I think is important. But we always want to be able to create some conflict with the defense and have multiple ways to do that, whether that's going on the ball, whether that's being able to shift in motion. And again, once we see what our players can handle, I think that's the level to which we take the offense, and how quickly we do it is on them.
Modern day offense, Trev. Multiplicity, shift in motion. Once we see what our players can handle. And this was him being asked of, what point are you at right now with Josh McDaniels working in the scheme? He's like, man, we're not game planning. We're just trying to figure out what our offense can handle. And the modern of that is the simplicity of, we know the players we have. We're evaluating the level of player we have. Then we're going to install the level of the system we see. Sure. We're not just going to throw a massive playbook at them and watch them sink or swim. No. We want them to swim, and we're not going to do too much and overload them with info or offensive scheme.
I like that that's what you picked up from that, because those are all the things he said, no doubt. But what I picked up from that is, this is such a defensive coach. They asked about Josh McDaniels. He starts talking about modern offense, as you alluded to. And then how's he end it? Talking about defense. I mean, this is just what they do. Who I'm really thinking about here, big picture.
Yeah.
It's not Josh McDaniels. We know what we're getting from him. It's not Vrabel. We know what he is. It's Drake May. I need desperately for Drake May to do whatever he can to be as annoying as possible to Josh McDaniels. Sometimes you have to be annoying for your career. And this is one of those moments. If I'm Drake May, what can I do? Josh McDaniels, what can I do for you? Can I go to the dry cleaners for you? Can I cut your grass? Can I be your pool boy? I just think, I hope, and he strikes me as this kind of kid, like work ethic wise and all that. I hope Drake May is literally up under Josh McDaniels every single stinking day of this offseason to be prepared to come in and run this offense, because we have seen it for years. When you can run a Josh McDaniels offense, I'm not saying the kid's Tom Brady, obviously, but we've seen Tom Brady execute that at the highest of levels in terms of schematics. If Drake May can get all of that verbiage and know every play like the back of his hand, it's only going to put him in an advantageous situation, because we think the offensive line will be improved. We think Stephon Diggs and whoever else maybe question mark is in this wide receiving core, that should be improved. Mm-hmm. We think they could improve on the run game. So all these things can help, but Drake May must have a mastery of this offense. And I know it takes time, but you could do yourself a lot of favors sticking up Josh McDaniels' crawl this offseason and getting that done.
And when he talks about, too, that goes back, 2 backs in the backfield, 2 tight ends, 3 wide receivers, multiplicity.
Yep.
Whatever the personnel is going to call for, we're going to go out and run it. And if we have the depth of the personnel to pull that off.
Yep.
But talking about that run game, the multiple ways to do it, as he's commenting too. Running the ball, which every offense needs. But Drake May was good with the play action, but he was bottom 10 in the league in the amount of play action play calls in his favor. Now, the run game wasn't good because the offensive line was not good. The run game wasn't good because they were putting the ball on the floor way too many times as well. But when you look at let's just think of the best quarterbacks from this past season alone. The Jaden Daniels, the Josh Allens, the Patrick Mahomes, the Jalen Hurts, the Jared Goffs, right? Your boy, Bo Nix, my guy, Sam Darnold, the Matt Staffords. All of them were top 15 in dropbacks with play action. All of them were 20% for the most part. Joe Burrow is under this one, but he doesn't have the arm strength that a Drake May does. But they were 20% or better in dropback percentage out of all their dropbacks throughout the season. So 20% of their dropbacks were on a play action. The other were just drop back and pass, whether shotgun or under center, right? When you have the arm strength of a Drake May, though, you can do that. Play action, buys a quarterback time, gets the defense to hesitate for a split second or second. He talked about putting him in conflict and opens up receivers. You have to put your back to the defense for a second. You turn around. You got to be quick to decide.
Yep.
But basically, it moves the defense for you, puts them in conflict, and it lets you know, put the ball right here, right there, wherever it may need to be. Drake May has that arm strength. Joe Burrow likes to be in the shotgun and just go with the ball. Don't want to hesitate. Doesn't have that sheer arm strength, but he's elite in everything else. But like a Justin Herbert, a Josh Allen, they thrive in play action. Justin Herbert, what do? Get the tackles, run the ball, figure out the receivers in the play action the rest of the way.
Yeah.
I just like hearing this coming from a Josh McDaniels where he's like, look, man, you know what they are going to be? In a good way, they're just going to be versatile. They're going to be flexible on offense. And in a way of what's their game plan? What's the opponent's weakness? That sounds like they're going to attack. And that's why you bring in Josh McDaniels again. Someone with the high IQ like him, the high acumen like him, to run an offense and just take advantage of the opponents. And that's how you win games. Not right now, he's not saying we're going to have the best offense in the league. He's talking about multiple offenses of week to week, we'll run different things. We will concentrate on different things, and that's how we're going to win games. And that's how you go from winning just 4 games the last 2 years, 7, 8, 9 in year 1.
Yeah, well, think about where Vrabel came from. That's a move straight out of Belichick, right? I mean, that's what made the Patriots dynasty so great, aside from Tom Brady, for so long, is they could kind of play to whatever style they needed to win the game. If they needed to go run heavy offensively and Brady managed the game, and then obviously late make clutch plays, they can do that. If Brady needed to air it out all over the yard, they could do that. Defensively, we saw that as well. Belichick, the mastermind defensively, could mix and match. He was playing chess while other guys were playing checkers. That's how the dynasty happened. I'm certainly not suggesting a Drake May, Mike Vrabel dynasty, although it will be nice, but that is something Vrabel learned from Belichick, and that is something he can implement here. The only difference is you don't have the ultimate eraser in Tom Brady that can sort of erase some of the deficiencies you have on your roster. Now, if you want to play that style, great. It's proven that it works, but you must have the personnel. That's what the Patriots need to focus on now.
More comments from Mike Vrabel, too, talking about the offense. Here's when he was asked, hey, you have a passing game coordinator now. First time this franchise ever had that. What's going to be the deal with that? And Thomas Brown.
As Josh's offense has kind of evolved, it kind of gets added on at the bottom, and I think what Thomas can do with Todd is kind of look and, get things cleaned up and put it in more of a bucket, and being able to be a coach that's learning it, how they would be able to teach it, right? I think that's something that we always want to look at is how will we teach this to the players? What's the best way to get this across to the players? Having fresh set of eyes with Thomas and Todd and Ashton or Tony Dews allows them to say, hey, Josh, let's clean up this, or this is how we did it with the Rams, or this is how we did it with the Jets, or this is how we did it with other places. And
love hearing that. Mm-hmm. That's you bring in Josh McDaniels to run the offense, but the guys he's naming, Todd Downing, wide receivers coach for the Patriots, was with him in Tennessee, was also with the Jets as their OC. Tony Dews, now the running backs coach. That's a guy that worked with Derrick Henry. That's a guy that worked with DeMarco Murray as well, again with the Tennessee days. Ashton Grant, the quarterback coach. Talking about Thomas Brown, branch off the Sean McVay coaching tree. But the fact of passing game coordinator, yeah, right. And then he names all the guys. Mm-hmm. So, all right, Thomas Brown is going, and he said it too in a way of, he's going to be learning Josh McDaniels' system himself as well, because there isn't that connection for Thomas Brown and Josh McDaniels. But then that helps the players, because in a way, there's the relatable of when they ingest the info, when they take everything in, it's not, okay, cool, sounds good, let's implement it. It goes, wait, how do you do this? Mm-hmm. What do you want the lingo with this? What does it mean for this? Helping out Drake May acclimate to this new system.
No doubt. And by the way, you sort of alluded to this earlier with the first soundbite, but it's so true. Welcome to the modern day passing game, Patriots, in 2025. Like, this is what it's supposed to look like. This is the pecking order you're supposed to have. And it goes back to my Drake May thing of he has to soak all this up. Some of the quarterbacks you even talked about before, Burrow, Herbert, the likes of guys like that who are great quarterbacks. I'm not taking anything away from them, but they've been in the league now. They've had some seasoning on them. They've been around a little bit. I'd call them veterans at this point, even though still young, but they're vets. They've been around. That's not the case for Drake May. This is such a young, impressionable time, an embryonic stage of his quarterback development. I have to think this guy is soaking up all the information. He is soaking up everything like a sponge. That's why I need him attached to Josh McDaniels' hip, because I believe it can work if that's the case. And he strikes me, again, I don't have any insider information, but he strikes me as the kind of guy that's doing just that.
You know what I would love is, like, I just picture wherever Drake May's walking in the facilities, or maybe more of Josh McDaniels. No, let's go with Drake May. Wherever Drake May's walking in the facilities, Thomas Brown's to his right,
Good.
Ashton Grant's to his left.
Great.
Todd Downing's walking behind him.
Excellent.
Josh McDaniels in front of him. And so it's any question. Yeah, he looks to his right. Let those guys surrounding him, and it'll be the same way at practice.
Yeah.
You ask about the passing game coordinator, and he brings up a Josh McDaniels again because
Right.
that's the thing. He's not just the OC. And Todd Downing's wide receivers coach. Josh McDaniels has influence in that room. Ashton Grant's a QB coach. Josh McDaniels has influence in that room. Really high IQ, one of the best play callers in the NFL. Really, really, really good offensive-minded coach. This is the one that I'm excited to talk to you about, T.
Okay.
He was asked about Ja'Lynn Polk, Javon Baker, the young receivers. Here's what Mike Vrabel had to say when commenting about those guys entering their second year in the NFL.
I know that Ja'Lynn's working hard. He's excited about being a new dad. He's working hard to rehab that shoulder, focusing on, and again, he said this, not me, but this is something I'll always say, is he's focused on what he can do as opposed to what he can't do. So he's lifting hard. He's lifting his lower body hard. He wants to get stronger. And where he can make gains right now about strength is in his lower body because he's rehabbing his shoulder. So that's exciting to me. Javon have been communicating with, and again, I'm excited to get these guys back whenever they come back and get going. Like, we're going to evaluate them going forward, not anything that happened. And if there's things that we can try to, eliminate from last year, we've had those conversations, and whatever their frustrations were or whatever things that did or didn't happen, we're moving forward with what we see in them and the excitement that they have. And so the more excited they are about learning, we'll be just as excited about teaching them.
This is laughable to me. I mean, we're not going to evaluate what happened last. There's nothing to evaluate, man. You didn't get diddly poo out of either one of these cats. It's great. I've seen the workout videos, running all through the cones and the weighted vest, and I don't give a damn about none of that. It's cool for a Rocky montage. What are you going to do on the field, bruh? Because we got nothing from you last season. And he's right. He's like, hey, we're moving forward. I know there were some complaints about we're moving forward to see what they can do. You better move forward because they've already showed you they didn't do diddly poo last season. Nothing. Neither one of them. So please. I mean, look, don't get me wrong. I'm happy to hear what he said. And I want to see these guys hungry and go prove something because you didn't prove a damn last season. I'm just good on their names. I don't want to talk Polk or Baker till they do something. Is that okay? Am I wrong for that? Am I a jerk for that?
No, you're fine.
Their 15 minutes is up. They came in, more so Baker, but they came in talking trash, set the league on fire. We're going to do, you didn't do a damn thing.
Going to make people in wheelchairs stand up.
Right. What did you do? Besides nothing,
Played in 7 games, had 4 targets and 1 catch.
Keep your mouth shut and work.
But that's the thing with Ja'Lynn Polk played in 15 games, finished with 12 receptions. Javon Baker was active in just 7, had 1 catch. These are guys that couldn't even line up right, and that's why you're barely active on Sundays or barely playing. Ja'Lynn Polk, obviously, there was a mental fight there too because just simply could not catch a football, and that was a good college receiver. If he can get something out of Ja'Lynn Polk, if he can get something out of a Javon Baker, that helps out with this draft too because think of third round, like the Jack Besh range.
Yep.
Slot out of TCU.
Yep.
If Ja'Lynn Polk produces, you don't need to draft a Jack Besh.
That's right.
If you like what you're getting out of him, that's when you can go with another defensive lineman, another cornerback.
Yeah.
Maybe you go offensive line. Maybe you go running back. Maybe you go tight end, like a Mason Taylor, Eric Arroyo, right? Mm-hmm. Those pass catchers that are going earlier in the draft. Or you go with a swing on a bigger body receiver where you're going, we can line them up on the outside. A Trey Harris, a Pat Bryant, second, third round. Because if they don't like what they see with the Ja'Lynn Polk or Javon Baker, that's when they do that draft pick of a Jack Besh, right?
Right.
And that's where it comes into it of they're the guys that I like as NFL prospects, but they're the guys that don't make sense for this team. And for him to put it simply, man, of I'm going to focus on what they can do, talking about Ja'Lynn Polk building his lower body. Hey, because the concern would be with he's rehabbing right now, so we'll see when he gets in. He goes, no. He's rehabbing right now on his shoulder. He can't do anything with his upper body, so he's been getting bigger in the legs, building up his base. You can work on lower body. So that shows Ja'Lynn Polk's putting in the work. He's talking about Javon Baker. He's been in touch with him. Those guys, to say they had atrocious rookie seasons is putting it lightly. But with a head coach like this, and again, it's why you bring in a Mike Vrabel. He has guys overperform. He has guys overall just deliver as well, and that's what you can get with these two players. It's a really low floor for this wide receiver room, but if they can be that wide receiver 4 or 5, that wide receiver 3-4, that helps out your rookie quarterback. When Stephon Diggs is back, he's the one, and we see so on and so forth. Just encouraging to hear from the coach. Everything modern, man.
Yeah.
Multiplicity with the offense.
Yep.
Talking about Josh McDaniels being open and talking to a Thomas Brown. Go to Bill Belichick. The reason his offensive coordinators were Matt Patricia, then Bill O'Brien in his last 2 years, he didn't want to teach anyone his new system.
That's right.
He didn't want to have to teach a coach. He wanted someone he can trust.
Right.
Yeah, Mike Vrabel brought back Josh McDaniels,
right,
but he's not going, yeah, it's a Josh McDaniels show. No.
Right.
I hired Thomas Brown, who learned from a Sean McVay.
Yep.
I hired a Todd Downing, who I worked with in Tennessee.
It's collaborative.
I hired an Ashton Grant, who learned from a Kevin Stefanski and an Alex Van Pelt in Cleveland. Yeah. Josh, you're going to work with them.
That's right.
From multiple successful offensive rooms, Todd Downing, Tennessee, but working together with the Josh McDaniels, that's what you want. Hey, if you're enjoying the show, make sure to check out our daily podcast. Boston has entered the chat. Wherever you get your podcast, Spotify, Apple, Amazon Prime. New episodes dropping every day of the week, Monday through Friday. You can catch on Spotify, Pandora, Amazon Music, of course, on your iPhones, on Apple as well. You could also watch on Facebook, Nesson's YouTube page, and Twitch. Go to Nesson's YouTube page, hit the subscribe button, and leave a comment on our latest episode as well. Trav.
Yes, sir.
You ready, bro?
I am.
Ready for this one?
I'm just excited to work with GM George. I'm not going to lie to you.
You know what? That made my day.
Not going to lie to you.
We're
This is
gonna
what you
have fun.
do.
We're going to do first round mock. This will be a fun one, T.
All right.
We're using NFL Draft Buzz again for this simulator. Shout out to whoever put us on to that. This is going to be a lot of fun. And Trav, with this one, like we did, we had the combo. What's happening at pick 1, pick 2, pick 3 before the Pats get to 4? This will draw a good picture. What's happening from 5 to 32 that also affects second round. Just one round. That's all we're going to do, controlling all the teams. Let's start the draft.
All right.
We're on the clock. We're the Tennessee Titans. We need a quarterback. We need an edge rusher. We need a wide receiver. We rebuilt the offensive line. Second year of it. Okay, Trav, what are you thinking?
You ain't had to do all that. You could have stopped at we need a quarterback.
Okay.
Dual threat, good kid, strong arm,
Leader.
big body bends, Cam Ward. Done. I mean, get the card now. We don't even need to waste any time.
Okay, here's a fun one. We're the Browns. We need a quarterback.
All right.
We need an edge rusher.
Okay.
We need a wide receiver.
Yes.
So that means Shador Sanders, Abdul Carter, Travis Hunter all on the board. And hey,
yes,
we're a bad team.
Yes.
Sometimes taking the best available. Travis Hunter.
Yeah.
Wouldn't hurt at this spot.
That's right.
They have Deshaun Watson still rehabbing his Achilles.
Gross.
Kenny Pickett is on the roster.
Gross.
Okay. So what are you thinking here?
Okay. Now, you and I have talked about this ad nauseum, and I thought for sure this is an Abdul Carter, this is a Travis Hunter spot. But the other day, the Browns owner comes out and finally admits what we all have known. We knew it from day one when they signed it, but he comes out and says, yeah, we swung and missed with Deshaun Watson. It was a wrong move. And I thought, oh, my God. The Browns have seen the light. Hallelujah. They once were lost, but now they're found. They're taking Shador Sanders. Now I'm more convinced. When that happened, that's what changed my mind. I said they're going to take Shador Sanders, and it's the right move. And I've been telling you this all along. Everyone's nitpicking this kid. Screw that. I saw him in college go to 2 different programs that were in football hell.
Just like the Browns.
With his dad and pull him out from hell, okay? Now, he won't have his dad yet, but I think he goes to Cleveland and changes that culture. Shador Sanders at 2.
All right. I'm good with that. I'm going to defer to that. I mean, this one makes it fun, too. So let's go Shador Sanders at 2. Giants picking at 3.
Yeah.
So since we had that conversation, what happens 1, 2, 3, I was like, hey, they got Jameis, man. They're in win now.
Yeah.
They went and signed Russell Wilson to a 1-year deal. What are they doing? I'm looking to the side because I'm just trying to see if John Mayer's to my right or to my left.
Right.
Or my screen left for whatever. I'm not going to do that to the viewers. I'm looking around. What are the Giants doing? Nothing else new? No other quarterbacks added? They didn't go out and sign Aaron Rodgers and just put... Okay. I think here they go with a head coach and GM with their jobs on the line, an owner that is sick and tired of losing, that just watch the Commanders go to the NFC Championship game.
Facts.
That watch the Eagles beat the Commanders and then win the Super Bowl to beat Patrick Mahomes, both those teams in their division.
Facts.
And the Cowboys on the cusp of getting back into the playoffs. And again, with a head coach and GM that are desperate, and with Shador going too, they don't go Jackson Dart here. They go Travis Hunter. He makes sense. The
Okay.
D-line is solved. The offensive line is okay. You have Malik Neighbors. You need a solidified cornerback one. You
Okay.
get that, and then you get 2 elite wide receivers. You are going to win games now. You
Okay.
have a quarterback that's not named Tommy DeVito or Daniel Jones. Let's start there. Jameis and Russell are an upgrade, whatever the opinion is. But they go Travis Hunter here because he's the best available. Premium position, wide receiver or cornerback. And it gets a team to win now. And Brian Dable needs to save his job.
Okay. Well, listen, you just did my next 2 picks because I was going to absolutely defer to whoever you said was coming off the board for the Giants.
Cool. So let's
in
go
other
Travis.
words, the Pats were going to lose either Travis Hunter or Abdul Carter here. You went Travis Hunter. I think I could see the Giants taking either one.
Yes.
I hear you on Hunter, and you know how I feel about him, so I'm certainly not going to argue with you about that. But I could also see them saying, hey, this is what we do. We get pass rushers. Here's this kid in Abdul Carter who could be a special one. Let's grab him. But either way, one of these names comes off the board here for the Pats. But I think the Pats will take the sloppy seconds of whoever, whether it's Travis Hunter or Abdul Carter. You're going Travis Hunter, the Giants at 3.
Yeah.
No problem there. Then I have Abdul Carter to the Pats at 4.
Ashton Jinty's right there.
Yeah, but listen, if I think now
My man.
if Shador's going to the Browns, which we're doing here for our mock, I think that ship has sailed. I don't think Membu or Campbell or Genty or any of these other guys I had pipe dreams for. I don't think any of them matter if Carter or Hunter's name is still available at 4. In our scenario, they are, so that's where I'm at.
All right, man. I like that. The logic there, too. Because that's the thing of you go get, again, with this whole draft, there's 2 blue chip guys. It's Travis Hunter, it's Abdul Carter, and then
That's
it's
right.
everyone else.
That's right.
If one of those guys are at 4, Patriots are
You have to
drafting.
do it.
Would have to be a King's ransom at 4.
Yes.
All right, so Jaguars at 5. This is
Okay.
a team that, as you see it, too, also on NFL Draft Buzz. Just
Yep.
went through 5 different names in my head right there. Wow, brain fart. They need a cornerback. They need a defensive tackle. They could use a wide receiver as well. They also need a safety. This is the one where I go Will Johnson out of Michigan.
Okay.
And I was between him and Ja'Lynn Barron. I love both these cornerbacks. Now, okay, so it's either between Mason Graham. They got 2 Michigan guys.
Yeah.
It's going to be Mason Graham or Will Johnson. They're actually right there. And you see that still the 2 of the top 3 remaining prospects.
Yeah.
I think they go Will Johnson just
Okay.
because they gave Tyson Campbell a contract, good cornerback, misses a ton of games. And this is traits. Mason Graham is coming in undersized overall weight, height, arm length as well, but as a day 1 starter at pro. Will Johnson, 6'2", 195, elite IQ, really twitchy. Pat Surtain 2.0. They go Will Johnson with cornerback here.
I don't have a problem with that. I would not be shocked if a Membu or a Campbell's in play there as well. You can never have too many good linemen. And remember, the Jags are in a precarious situation with Trevor Lawrence now.
Yeah.
You gave him all this money in the world. The kid keeps getting banged up. I mean, they may just want to build a really solid, dominant offensive line. So I think both of those tackles could be in play here. But I don't have a problem rolling with you with Will Johnson. I'm not going to argue it.
Raiders at 6. What do you think, man? They need a quarterback, even though they have Geno. They need a running back, a wide receiver, and a corner.
They need a quarterback bad. Listen, do they reach on a Jackson Dart? I guess that's possible.
Yeah.
I don't see it. I think Genty, I know you think I'm nuts.
No.
I think Genty's in play at 6.
Hold on.
I
Yes,
really
he
do.
is. Look, here's my notes right here.
Yeah.
Ted McMillan, question mark. Matthew Golden, Brock Bowers, and Jacoby Myers. Matthew Golden make a lot of sense for Geno Smith.
Yeah.
Who's the head coach of the Raiders now?
Pete.
What does he love to do? Except against the Patriots on the goal line. Run the ball. They're taking Ashton Jinty.
Okay. There it is.
And when you get your quarterback, you got a good run game. That's a huge favor. He looked good, really good at his pro day. All right, man. The Jets
right.
at 7.
All right.
Notice, real quick, we've had 6 picks go by, no offensive linemen taken.
Yeah, it's
This is
gonna
where I think
happen.
the first one goes.
Yeah.
So they went Olu Fashanu last draft.
Yep.
And they were working him out at right tackle because they had Tyron Smith, but it didn't work out. This offensive line was in shambles.
Yep.
Elijah Vera Tucker was finally healthy. Olu Fashanu took a year to get used to it and learning the right tackle spot.
Yep.
The world is their oyster. I think they go top tackle available. This one, I think they go Armand Membu.
Okay.
But he hasn't played a left tackle. Okay, so if he is a right tackle,
All right.
he sticks at right tackle. He's just 21, sick athlete. And then Olu Fashanu goes back to the left side where he played at Penn State.
Sure.
So that's it right there. You think Jets go Armand Membu?
I'm not going to argue with you.
I think they go offensive line. That's my thing.
I could see trenches. So if they don't go Membu, which they could, I could also see a Mason Graham for them. But I don't have an issue going Membu. I think it is in the trenches. I think they could go defensive line or offensive line here. So I'm fine with the pick.
I think tackle is so needed.
Yep.
The offensive line's been in shambles. And they go wide receiver second round. They need someone outside of Garrett Wilson to help out. Yep. So they go Armand Membu. Now at 8, the Panthers. This is an interesting team too. Defense was terrible.
Yeah.
They could use a pass catcher and a wide receiver too, but what do you think the Panthers do?
That's where I'll go Mason Graham. I mean, I had him going to the Jets. I'll just slide him down one slot. Obviously, they need disruptors on the front end in terms of their defensive line. So, listen, I like what the Panthers are doing too, by the way. It should be noted. You know, you and I talked a lot about them towards the end of the regular season. They started winning games, kind of got hot there. They were in every game, certainly pretty much for the season, even the ones they were losing. I like the momentum they have. It looks like Bryce can play. I just think, you know, a Mason Graham here makes a lot of sense because he's a winner.
I agree.
Comes from a winning culture. So that's where I'm going here.
Cool. I'm with you on Mason Graham. I mean, they were just getting their butts kicked at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
They have Jadeveon Clowney, who's about to be 32 years old.
He's 100 years old.
Exactly. Opposite of that, they just have question marks everywhere. They got Xavier Legette last year early on.
Yeah.
They go Mason Graham. You just got to start stopping guys, even Dave Canales. Then they go offense later on. All right, Saints.
Yeah.
This could be Jackson Dart.
Could.
This could be quarterback, corner, wide receiver, O-line.
Could.
They got Derek Carr for one more season. Kellen Moore's now the head coach.
Yeah.
Again, this is a defense that needs help. They lost Marshawn Lattimore at the trade deadline. They got needs everywhere, man. So it's a matter of, do they go Jackson Dart with the top 10 pick, let him sit for a year? He's a guy that needs to sit behind Derek Carr, and then they go. And I think Kellen Moore does that. Or I could see them, if they go edge, it could be a James Pierce, or going back to the secondary, Jahdae Barron here as well.
I'm going Will Campbell. I don't think they're going to reach and take Jackson Dart because I think they're going to suck and then draft Arch Manning. So I think the game plan is going to be, let's build up this roster and bring a Manning back to New Orleans. That's the game. That's how that's going to look. So I think you get the line solidified now, and you let Spencer Rattler get destroyed because you know damn well Carr's not going to last. So it's going to be Spencer Rattler.
Interesting.
And then you let those guys get blown out of the water, and then you go draft Arch next year.
They go Will Campbell, Kelvin Banks still there, Josh Simmons is still there. Offensive line was okay. I'm not going to get in the weeds on the Saints' offensive line. With this team's needs, and at wide receiver as well, so they pass on Ted McMillan, Matthew Golden, and they go Will Campbell here, you think?
I think.
But they could go second round. I mean, Will Campbell's going to be a good NFL player for a lot of years, so they protect the young quarterback. Let's go Will Campbell here. I just like that because that's different than what I was thinking, so I'm going to ride with you on this one.
All right.
Now
what do you think about Arch? You just going to gloss over that?
No, I just see
Manning back in New Orleans.
We haven't. Yes, that's what. Like,
right.
When you watch back on this episode, you'll see my eyes light up. I was looking down the screen. You go Arch New Orleans. I go, ooh. Didn't think about that.
I'm filled with hot. I'm not the best mock draft guy, but hot takes. I mean, I should be your first pick overall.
I like the outside of the box thing. Hey, Grandpa, you did it in New Orleans. I got this one now. Hook 'em, baby. Saints.
The NFL would love that.
Florida Leash.
A Manning back in New Orleans. You kidding me?
All right, so the Bears rebuilt their offensive line on the interior to help out Caleb Williams.
Yeah.
They still need a tackle because Braxton Jones is okay. Need an edge rusher. Need a running back. They can use a wide receiver. They can use help everywhere.
Yeah.
What do you think they do here?
If Genty's available, this makes a lot of sense.
Yep.
But for our scenario, he won't be. But that's a place I have my eye on for him.
DJ Moore, Roma Dunze in that wide receiving room.
I like Kelvin Banks here.
Okay.
They're just trying to figure out the offensive line. He's still on the board.
Yep.
He's damn good.
Yep.
And this is a round where you and I both thought he would go.
Yep.
I mean, he could be in play for the Niners, too, at 11. I don't think Banks gets past 12, we'll call it. At 10 to 12 range, I think he goes. So I'll send him to Chicago, but I'll defer to what you think.
I think they go Marion Hampton out of UNC.
Oh!
Ben Johnson's running that show.
Poor man's Genty.
Who he was with the team that traded up to take a running back at 12. And look what Jahmyr Gibbs changed for the dynamic of that offense.
Dude.
Caleb Williams needs a run game. I think they go Marion Hampton.
How about that? Two running backs in the top 10. That's a hot take.
Saving the position. All right, 49ers need help everywhere.
Banks.
Lost everywhere on their defensive line. Trent Williams is about to be 37. They need a wide receiver as well. They lost Debo. Ayuk, they don't trust. They're trying to trade him. What do you think the Niners?
Banks. I mean, I had him in Chicago. You didn't like it. I'm telling you, I don't think this kid lasts, past 12. I think the Cowboys pick at 12 if I can see this monitor right. So
yes, they are.
I have no problem putting them with the Niners. They got to
Kelvin
rebuild
Banks?
that offensive line.
All right, let's go with that. I'll go with Kelvin. I was going to go offensive tackle. I say Josh Simmons. A little more of a Trent Williams to me, but I like the Kelvin Banks pick. Now the Cowboys. Jared, baby. Oh, them running backs are gone.
This is your pick.
I love a
Pick
good
it as
running back.
Jared, would you?
Well, I need a corner opposite of Diggs. He hasn't been that good.
Listen to him
Our
talking
defense stunk. Ja'Lynn Barnes there played at Texas. I live in Texas Longhorns. Jalen Walker. All right, now getting serious. You basically have two Micah Parsons and a Jalen Walker and Micah Parsons on this defense. It's tough to see Jalen Walker falling this far, too, because that's at the point where he's becoming best available.
Yep.
But this offense is atrocious.
Yes.
They've picked really well when they're picking within the top 25. Man. I think they go cornerback later.
Okay.
I think they could go D-line late, deep. They're going with the Longhorn. I'm going Matthew Golden out of Texas right here.
Golden?
Yep. Really good deep ball receiver, complimentary to CD Lamb. You need the weapons on the outside.
Is that a
well.
reach?
No, yeah, maybe because it's I think he's going to go in that range.
All right.
All right, Dolphins, same thing. They need offensive line. They need a safety after losing Javon Holland, Ja'Lynn Barnes there, Nick Manwari.
Yeah.
They also need offensive line. They need cornerback too.
Who's your top-rated safety, GM George? That's who I got.
Oh, man. Nicky Manwari is an alien. Malachi Starks is really good. So I like Nicky Manwari. I think Malachi Starks
Is he
goes
South
high.
Carolina? He's a Gamecock, right?
Yeah.
I like him.
I think he ends up playing down in the box, so he's not the same type of safety as a Javon Holland. I
Let's
also
go
love
him.
the safety out of Texas as well.
Let's go
Andrew
the
Makuba,
Gamecock.
but I think he goes later. You know what I think the Dolphins do because they don't know what's going on with their left tackle? I think they go Josh Simmons here.
Oh, really?
I think they end up going left tackle.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I think you got to help out.
That team needs a safety in the worst way.
And I think they could get him later.
Okay.
Or they could get a corner convert to safety. So let's go
right.
Josh Simmons. The
Simmons.
Colts,
All right.
this one's interesting.
Oh, I can't figure that out.
They need pass catchers. They need offensive line.
They need
They just
offensive
lost
line.
Ryan Kelly and Will Fries. They need a quarterback.
Yeah.
They don't need wide receivers, but they could use production. They also, their defense was not good either. And
They
Ja'Lynn
need an
Barnes
offensive
there.
line bad. I mean, I don't know. Are all the tackles gone that we like with the first
Grady
round
Zabel will
grades?
play inside. Wyatt Millen will play inside. We could see an Arante Ursary going, but I don't think this high.
Is there a guard? I mean, they need offensive line.
Yeah, it could be a
That's what
Josh
I'm
Connerly.
thinking.
It could be a Gray Zabel. The
Take
one
your
with,
pick.
I think they end up going Ja'Lynn Barron here. And I think this is a best available type pick, really good cornerback. I know there's edge rushers there. They could use help on the front. I think they go Ja'Lynn Barron. So I'm going to go Ja'Lynn Barron out of Texas.
Okay.
Falcons. They had added Leonard Floyd, lost Grady Jarrett. They were terrible on the pass rush. This is one. I can see Shamar Stewart or James Pierce. Michael Williams to help with the run defense.
like
They could
both.
go Mike Green.
I like both. I mean, Stewart feels like the guy who's graded the highest, right?
Yeah.
Over Pierce, right?
Yeah.
I'll go Stewart here. They have to get a pass rush.
That
They
makes
gotta figure
sense.
it
Mike
out.
Green and Shamar Stewart are great to hire over James Pierce. Let's go Shamar Stewart. Cardinals are like everything. They could end up going receiver to help with Marvin Harrison Jr. and Trey McBride. Like a Ted McMillan would be more outside.
Yeah.
They also just need help on the D-line too. And that's where I think a Michael Williams comes into play.
You like that one?
Yeah, helps with the run defense a lot.
God, Ted McMillan though,
This team's weird.
with Harrison Jr.
Sliding this far.
Ooh, Lord.
No, I got a Ted take for you. Let's go Michael here.
All right.
Let's go Michael.
All right.
Bengals, another team. What are you doing? Without Golden running the defense, I think they end up going D-line. Again, this defense was terrible.
They got to do
This is
anything.
Mike Green. Mike Green out of
Okay.
Marshall.
All right.
Just is an absolute disruptor, really violent hands, really
right.
good at hand fighting. I think they go Mike Green.
Okay.
Because Trey Hendrickson, we don't know, too, and he could come back down to earth.
Nah, he ain't.
Mike Green to the Bengals. All right, Seahawks. They need offensive line. They need defensive tackle. They need wide receiver.
They need a pass catcher. I don't hate. You tell me if this is a reach. I don't hate Ty Warren for them.
Ooh.
Right?
I like that.
I don't hate that.
Especially
for
with
them.
Mike McDonald.
Right.
Being a defensive coach, you know they love a guy in the trenches.
It's a good fit. And
Let's
they
go top-
need they're not as dire as the Patriots, but they need it's not even necessarily a receiver. I know
Cooper-
you think, well, DK's gone,
No,
but you
yeah.
just need playmakers. You need pass catchers. I think of Ty Warren, and that's a team that runs the ball a lot. They have two good running backs, Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet. I could see Ty Warren here. I just don't know if it's a reach or not at 18.
I don't think it's a reach. He's a top 20 player.
That's
Ted
my pick.
McMillan sliding this far would be nuts, but hey, man, this is the fun part of it. Tyler Warren, let's go with it. I like your call there. Let's.
You
See,
like him over Ted McMillan?
I think they would go to. It just makes sense when you talk about the multiplicity of him and the
right.
versatility of his role.
right.
Buccaneers, they need help on the pass rush. They need help in the secondary because they've been dealing with injuries to Jamel Dean. Wide receivers, they bring both their guys back. This is one I think they end up going Jalen Walker. I think it's surprising he slides this far.
Yeah, that's a
When you have a
steal.
defensive-minded head coach, he's really good as a pass rusher. If he works as an off-ball linebacker, then he does there.
I forgot he was even still on the board. I like that one.
Okay. Broncos need to help Bo Nix.
Ted. He's still there. Ted McMillan.
Let's go, Ted.
He's still there.
Working quick.
That's
Shoot
a
from the
steal.
hip.
I would say the Bucs and the Broncos back-to-back just got 2 really good steals of this draft.
Steelers go defensive line as they're getting older. They're losing some bodies there.
They need everything, though, dog.
They need a
offensive
quarterback.
line, too.
They need O-line help. Gray Zabel, he'd get kicked inside, but they could use help there as well. They went Troy Faltanu last year.
I'll defer to you here.
This one, I think they go James. Keep double downing on that. Nick Eamon-Worry.
It's got to be a big guy.
They go best available. You think they go trenches?
They got to go. They're a mess, trenches.
So then they would end up going Nick Scott and James Pierce. These two you could decipher. They might even go with our guy Donovan Ezra-Rockwell.
Oh,
I think they go James Pierce because of how
Pierce
that
is on the board.
How the defense is built. Chargers.
Yeah, he feels like a Steeler.
Chargers need a pass catcher. They go Colston Loveland.
Okay.
Reunite Jim Harbaugh with this guy from Michigan. This is more of a receiver than a tight end.
Yeah.
Packers. Packers. This one is a funny one too.
Trenches?
No. I think they need help in the secondary.
Okay.
And Siobhan Ravel's good, but kind of slim.
Okay.
They could go Maxwell Hairston with Kentucky. This is very interesting where the rankings is. There he is. But he's not the best press corner. He's more of zone. And Jeff Hafley, I think with the Nick Eamon-Worry there, they end up going with him. He could play down the box. Quay Walker hasn't worked out.
Okay.
Nick Eamon-Worry is just an alien. I think they go with that safety.
Done.
Vikings, they need help corner, defensive line. They need help on their O-line as well.
That's safety I talked about.
Malachi Starks.
Let's put him there. They need a safety too.
They do need a safety. Let's go Malachi Starks. Texans, they got Cam Robinson. They address the offensive line in a way. They need a wide receiver better than a Christian Kirk.
Yeah.
And really don't know what's happening with a Tank Dell in his timeline. I think they go with Mecca Egbuka. CJ Stroud, Mecca Egbuka, Ohio State.
You like him more than Burden?
Yes, I do like him more than Burden.
Done.
I think he's more versatility to the scheme. Rams, they need a corner. They need a linebacker, but they never adjust that. They need offensive line.
They could go Burden.
This is one, actually, but they have Devontae Adams, Puka Nacua, Tutu Atwell. I think they go Maxwell Hairston.
Okay.
They had one of the worst pass defenses in the league last year.
All right.
Yeah, let's go Maxwell Hairston. He was getting that first round grade.
All right.
Ravens.
Pass rush.
And they go D-line, and you know what I think they do?
Who's
Donovan
the best?
Ezra-Rockwell.
Oh, God.
Yep.
What a great fit for him.
Pulled the trigger on that one. Lions, I think they need edge too. Because we don't know what's happening with Aiden Hutchinson. They need to revamp the offensive line. They could go Gray Zabel.
What about the Ohio State kid, D-line? I like him.
Jack Sawyer. I think he's more second round than first.
Okay.
And if Gray Zabel is getting some smoke at this part, I think they go with the Gray Zabel.
All right.
Let's go with him after losing let's go Wyatt Milton. No, let's go Gray Zabel. Excuse me.
All right. Who you got next?
Commanders need edge. They need a cornerback. They need to get to the quarterback. They go with the Nick Scott.
Okay.
All right. Bills. This is fun, man. Just shoot from the hip. They need help in the secondary. They were slow. They need help on the outside in general with pass catchers. I think that's a Luther Burden.
Oh, that's a great. I'm a fan. I've been trying to force some places. Burden in Buffalo makes a lot of sense.
Cool. Burden to Buffalo.
Yep.
Kansas City. They need offensive line still. They need pass catchers still. Chiefs need tackle, defensive tackle as well. They need tight end. The best tight ends are gone. They're not going tight end at this spot. Wide receiver, maybe they reach on a Jaden Higgins.
Go offensive line.
They could. They just signed Jalen Moore. They could use a Wyatt Millam. They just lost to Joe Tooney. They got to protect their quarterback.
I think you go line here.
Or they go Josh Connerly as well.
Who's the best offensive lineman left on your board right now?
Man, you know what? I could see. Well, they have Kingsley Sumatai. They kick him inside. They go Arante Ursary. He plays right tackle for them after they sign Jalen Moore.
Last pick.
Okay, last pick. That's the Eagles. World is your oyster. They can do whatever they want.
Best player
They
available.
lost Milton Williams. So they need a solution there. They need help at safety as well. They need help on the outside. Wide receivers, Jaden Higgins. Best available. Walter Nolan, rebuild that depth. And you saw how they just won the Super Bowl at the line of scrimmage.
That's a steal for them at that pick. By the way, it should be noted, no Jackson Dart in our first round.
Yeah, which is significant.
It's significant.
Kenneth Grant's really good out of Michigan too.
It's significant.
Our producer Ethan's gonna kill me. This is what we were talking about.
It's
before the show.
significant.
Don't do this.
You're
Edge,
such a
they're
GM.
fine. They go Walter Nolan.
GM George.
They go Walter Nolan here. Bingo. And that's it.
Folks, he could literally do this all day.
First rounds, yes, I can. It's sad. I mean, it is what we do all day in the office.
I'm thinking about lunch. He's like, let's do rounds 5 through 6 and 7 tonight.
Hey, when you
Round
guys
8,
are around,
9.
yeah, stay for the 48-hour marathon. Trav and I will stay up.
Round
We'll do a full
66.
7-round. Trav, that was fun, bro.
Unbelievable.
I like how it broke down. And like you said, no Jackson Dart going, but the wide receiver's still on the board at this point.
Yeah.
Jaden Higgins, Trey Harris. The offensive lineman, Arante Ersrigon, that'd be a Josh Connerly. He's Travis Thomas. I'm George Balekji. This is Foxborough Rush. Appreciate you guys
GM
making us part of your
George.
day. Leave a comment on YouTube. We'll see you guys on Friday.